Welcome to Childcare Rockstar Radio. I am your host, Kris Murray. Childcare leaders around the globe are breaking through challenges, leading the way in innovation, testing new best practices, and impacting children and families in a much more powerful and positive way than ever before. Each week, join me for interviews with early childhood leaders and experts that will leave you inspired to become the next childcare rockstar. Now, let's go. This is Childcare Rockstar Radio, episode 134, featuring Shana del Castillo. Welcome back to the show, everybody. I am Kris Murray, your host, here at Childcare Rockstar Radio, and I have got a juicy one queued up for you today with Miss Shana del Castillo, one of our incredible Academy members who has accomplished so much. She's from Southwest Florida, and she is the owner of a Growing Room franchise, Growing Room Learning Centers, and she has two schools, two large locations with about 200 kids at each school. And it is a high quality program, and she is doing amazing things down there near the beach in Southwest Florida, so in the Fort Myers area. Shana joins me today for this show, sharing so many things about positive mindset and how truly, when it comes to growing your business, no matter what kind of business you have, 90% of it is mindset. And Shana is a shining example of this concept that I preach a lot and strive to practice every day. And I see, more than anything, when we develop people's mindset and confidence in our program and throughout the childcare industry, it is the thing. It is the core of everything that we do. And so that is why I titled today's episode, A Growth Mindset in Action. And you are going to hear and see examples of that all throughout this episode. So buckle in. We talk about hiring process. And if you're still feeling like your hiring process is not really working fully or has gaps, then this is the episode for you. Best practices for being fully staffed. Shana actually is overflowing with, get this, too many applicants for the spots in her program. And it's not a small program, right? I mean, she's got over 400 children that she's managing in these schools and dozens of staff that are operating at their top level of culture, leadership in the classroom, early learning best practices, and just being phenomenal teachers for kids. So that's what we're going to dive into. We're going to hear about her personal growth journey, how she attributes mindset to everything that she does. She has an insanely high culture at her schools, and her leadership team is on fire. She doesn't have to be in her schools, and she chooses usually to work from a home office when she works. She doesn't work full time. She's a mom raising kids, a single mom just like me, and I can't say enough about her. I mean, this is just an incredible episode because Shana embodies and walks the talk of everything that we teach in the Academy. So definitely do not go anywhere. Check this out. And before we dive into that, I want to share with you and thank our sponsor for today's episode, which is a new sponsor I want to give lots of love to, which is Live Oak Bank. And we have a new banking partner for the industry. So Live Oak Bank strives to help you master your business and achieve your dreams by offering loans and financial solutions nationwide for the early education industry. They're a national lender supporting schools across the country, working to get capital quickly into the hands of their borrowers. And in fact, Live Oak has lent over $400 million in the early education space, financing acquisitions, expansions, refis, and construction projects. With their dedication to efficiency, collaboration, and in-depth knowledge of the education industry, they'll take you where you need to go, guys. Their team of early education finance experts fully understand the nuances of your specific business model, and they want to invest in you because they know that you're ready to make an impact. Beyond the traditional banking experience, they strive to be an asset to each one of their clients by turning obstacles into opportunities. Let their team confidently guide you through the lending process and craft a unique plan that will help you and your business thrive. So learn more right now or at the end of this episode. Jot it down, liveoakbank.com. liveoakbank.com/rockstar. Live Oak Bank, just like it sounds, .com/rockstar. ROCKSTAR. All right, everybody. Thank you so much, Live Oak Bank, for sponsoring today's show. All right, let's dive in without any further ado. I can't wait for you to get to know Shana better. And we talk about full enrollment, full staff, mindset, confidence, being a single mom. She's also on the side a pediatric sleep coach, which is so cool, helping infants and toddlers with sleep issues, and of course, bringing peace of mind to parents. So let's dive on in. Without any further ado, I bring you my friend Shana here on Childcare Rockstar Radio. Let's go. Welcome back, everybody, to Childcare Rockstar Radio. I am thrilled to bring you a quite remarkable young lady from Southwest Florida, Shana del Castillo. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you, Kris.
Great to see you here.
Glad to be here.
Awesome. Shana is a Empire member of our Childcare Success Academy, and we've been working and coaching together for 3 years?
Yes.
Something like that? Cool. Well, welcome to the podcast. Where are you right now? I mean, I mentioned Florida, but specifically, where are you?
Well, right now I'm at one of my schools in Southwest Florida at the Bonita Springs location on the sunny state of Florida.
Nice. And it's August right now while we're recording this, so it's going to be quite steamy.
Very hot.
I actually went to high school in Sarasota, Florida, so I'm very familiar with what goes on with the summer heat and humidity. So hang in there. Tell us a little bit more about your business. How many locations, how many children are you serving, and where are your locations located?
Okay. So we have 2 locations currently. One is in Bonita Springs, Florida, the one I'm at now, and then one is in Fort Myers, Florida. They're about 25 minutes apart. We are in expansion mode, so we're looking to have another location soon. Currently, we're serving about roughly 200 children per location, give or take, so about 400 children. And we have about 75 staff members.
Fantastic. And as you mentioned to me earlier, you are also in the process of expanding to your 3rd location.
Yes.
So that's exciting.
It is exciting.
Tell us a little bit about your journey in childcare. How long have you been in ECE, and kind of how did you discover this amazing world of early learning?
Okay, so well, I have a master's degree in early childhood curriculum and instruction. And outside, when I graduated from the university, I was a preschool teacher for several years. And then when I had my first daughter, I stayed at home. And then I had 2 more daughters. They were 2 years apart. And I was home, but I started working from home doing virtual school. So I was teaching high school for 7 years, which was really different. And then after that, the kids were, once they were all in elementary school, I decided I wanted to get back out into the real world and be around people and not working from, the computer as much. So I got back out into early childhood. I became an assistant director first, and then a director, then a market coordinator, then the general manager. I just moved on up through the company.
Okay.
And I've been with Growing Room for 7 years and counting. So it's been
awesome.
Journey.
And Growing Room is a small franchise, right?
Yes, it is a franchise. There's 5 in Florida, and then there's some in other states. So it's a small franchise, but yes.
Right. Cool. Tell us a little bit about what you got going on at home. What are you interested in hobby-wise, and how busy are you at home?
I'm busy at home. I'm a single mom. I've got 3 girls. They're teenagers. So they're 14, 16, and 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are busy. Okay.
Yes. And my 18-year-old left the nest this summer, and she's in Tampa. So now I'm down 1. So that does help a little bit. But yes, we have sports and activities, and, they keep me busy. But I love them. As far as hobbies, the main thing is that I love to read. I love personal development. So I'm always watching podcasts, reading books. I stay very active, either taking a course or doing something to help myself grow as a leader and as a person on the regular. And I love my animals. I have 2 dogs and 2 birds, and we have a new puppy coming this weekend. So I'm still kind of shocked that I said yes, but I guess
Right.
going for it. So
What kind of puppy?
she's a mini golden doodle.
Oh,
Yeah,
Shana,
I
you're
know.
living my dream right there.
Aw,
Yeah, I
dream
want
too.
one.
I'm like, oh man, sleepless nights again. But yeah,
Yeah,
she's so cute. We're naming her Camila Jade. We're gonna call her Cammy J, or we don't know either. Maybe Mila. We don't know yet.
yeah,
Mila's her
love
name.
that. That's super
Yeah,
cute.
so exciting.
Yeah, I recently was hanging out in Denver at my condo in Denver, and I was at the rooftop area, just like had this open social barbecue area up there. It's so cool, and you can see the whole skyline of Denver. And we were hanging out, and these people came up with two dogs, and one was a bigger, looked like a golden, some kind of a doodle, and then the mini guy, whose name was Henry, literally adopted me because I recently lost my chocolate lab. And so I think he sensed that. I don't know what, but he just loved me. So he came in and he like literally by the time that we went through this journey of getting to know each other over like 20 minutes of sitting there, his head was in my lap.
Oh,
And it was so great. So I have pictures. Like he is totally, I think, a sign from the universe that I have to get a mini golden doodle. So me know, send me some pics.
I will.
I'm jealous. But yeah, with me traveling right now so much, I'm like the timing, I have to get the timing right on the puppy journey.
It is hard for sure with
Yeah.
traveling. I have the same problem.
Yeah. So let's dive in. You have had a ton of success in your childcare business. I love that you're into personal development. You're always trying to working on sharpening your saw, getting better, working on your mindset for sure. And I see that in you. And that's why I wanted to bring you to the podcast today. You have one of the best stories of hiring success. And I would love for you to share with the audience a little bit more about your hiring process. So paint the picture from where you were, coming out of the pandemic, maybe last year or during 2020. And then today you're fully staffed and you actually are pulling back on your hiring budgets because you are almost getting overstaffed. So you're in a very enviable position. And you're in Florida. And so there's a lot of people and clients in Florida that are still having pain around this issue. And the state of Florida, has certain licensing requirements with new staff. And so talk a little bit about best practices in your hiring process that people can model.
Okay. Well, pre-pandemic, we were staffed very well, but the pandemic definitely caused a disruption in things like it has for everybody else. And I think that we use Grow Your Center, A+ hiring. And for us, that has been a game changer because it took a lot of time off of my schedule of trying to help the directors fill holes and trying to interview. And it took it off of them too. And now, when the candidates come in and they've already met with somebody, so it makes the process a lot more smooth for us and it's a lot less time consuming. So now we have so many candidates that want to work with us that we don't have the positions available. So we've kind of been lucky that we've been able to replace some of our, teachers that, weren't our top performers with some hires that bring a lot to the table.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good position to be in because both of the staffs at both schools right now are just really strong. But we're kind of always hiring, but at the same time, I'm like, I told the director, slow it down just a little bit because we are getting a little overstaffed. But it is an honor to have so many people really want to work with our company. And I think that too, the culture of the school is something that I'm very passionate about that. And it's very important to me, the experience that the teachers have at work and that they feel appreciated and loved. And I spend a lot of time making sure that happens. And Bruce from A+, he tells me that they come to the interview, they're saying they want to work for us, that they know about us, they know how we treat people. And it took a lot to get that reputation. And it's something that I think makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
You know who you are and what you stand for before they even come in. They're excited to be a part of our team. So I'm very passionate about that and about equipping the teachers and training them, and not only in education, but also in personal life skills and, elevating their life and just helping them to find their goals and dreams, and that some of them have not had the chance to do. So I'm very passionate about that. And I work with my directors closely. I know everybody by name, just very important to me.
Mm-hmm. So before you got to a place of having this level of community reputation as being a great workplace, and you didn't work as much intentionally on your culture, what are one or two things that you have done that you feel have contributed the most to your culture, to your school culture?
I would say that the scorecards that we're doing with the quarterly bonuses, that really motivates the teachers a lot. And they feel like they have, control over, a lot of control over that, how they're going to receive that, what they have to do to get it. And they're motivated for that. We also are very competitive. I keep track of the community, what the pay rates are, and I'm very competitive with that. I always make sure like we're near the top with that. We also, we have staff appreciation. Almost every week there's something, and every month there's something that, that's more substantial. So we make sure that we're taking good care of them and that we're meeting their needs too, as people, as far as not just our employees, but, in life in general. I think those are the things. When I surveyed them last time, those were the things that they told me that they really, really liked, like the bonuses and gift cards and things like that.
Yeah. So a related question to that, Shana, and I love what you're telling me right now, because this is everything. Like what we teach in the academy and what we want our members to embrace and implement is the journey that you're actually living right now. So I'm just like totally juiced up by what you're telling me. One of the things that people, even at the Empire level, still struggle with is getting directors to, fill out those scorecards or embrace these leadership strategies or be part of turning the culture around, or, so we're still hearing from folks like, well, my directors are still really burnt out and they complain that they have so much to do that they don't have time to help with these new innovations and measures for culture building. So when you went to try to, implement all of this in your school, how did you get your maybe they came to it with an open mindset and you had the right directors in place, but did they have to kind of go through a journey, or how did you get, how do you hold them accountable and keep them fired up to do what you want them to do?
I think it starts at the top with your own mindset and your own, the way that you see things, the way that you view things. Both of my directors and my director of education, I would consider them good friends too. So we work really, really well together. And for me, I have to have people that I can trust with my eyes closed. If I can't trust them, I don't want them in a position like that, because I want to have to babysit schools all the time. So we have a very fluid work and I invest a lot of time in them. And I also I coach them individually to, with their goals and their own personal life, even sometimes. But they're really willing to try things. They really don't give me a lot of pushback. If they're not having time, it might be a structural problem. For example, the administration team, the duties, maybe they're too heavy on the director. But I have very big administration teams. Each director has 2 assistant directors and there's an office manager. Then we have a director of education that goes back and forth from school to school. So at any time, there's 4 people up front. They have me. I go back and forth, and then the director of education. So everybody has their own duties. And I think that the director, if they're running their team really well, they shouldn't be too bogged down in the day-to-day, to be honest. They should have time to do the scorecards and the things that are important to me, which are usually dealing with the people. That for me is the first priority, which is the teachers and the children and the parents. The paperwork that can always be distributed amongst the team. It shouldn't be just the director's responsibility. I think some of them they get bogged down with that, and they're not just the responsibilities in a way that's beneficial for the organization.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about your enrollment. So how's your enrollment doing? And has it been consistently stable, or have you had some ups and downs?
During the pandemic, it went down quite a bit in the beginning, but we did bounce back relatively quickly. We also use Grow Your Center for advertising, which is amazing. And we are full at one school with a wait, and we started our school year more full at the other school than we ever have. Usually the fall is our big enrollment period. So the next few months we'll pick up, but we're good at both schools. We started really strong this school year, and I'm really excited about having another location. I think we're ready for that. Definitely. Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Good.
Very, very cool. Let's talk a little bit about one of your side interests. It's integrated into your ECE journey, certainly, is you being a pediatric sleep coach.
Yes.
So maybe I've never even heard of a pediatric sleep coach. So tell us more.
Okay. So I've been doing that for 10 years. I got certified when my daughter, after my second child, she was kind of a crazy sleeper, and I had been doing a lot of research. And when I was working at home back then, I was like, oh, this will be something good for me. I can help moms. I'm really passionate about helping people and empowering people. So I got certified, and I've been doing it on the side. I never made it a full business because I got divorced after that. And I really felt like I needed a steady paycheck, and it was just too stressful to have a maybe type situation back then. But I haven't given it up because I really love that feeling in families. Is sleep is something that is so important, and they just are so happy when they're done. But basically, I coach them individually, and I help them with babies and children that don't sleep through the night. And I help them break any bad habits and retrain behavior, and shape it so that everybody gets to sleep in their own beds. If that's the parent's goal. And once they graduate, they come back to me if they have other issues, and I'll help them, along the way. So it's been really good for me. Each family is kind of like a little puzzle in my head to like put all the pieces together and figure out. And I really enjoy that. So I do it, as a side on the side, basically.
Yeah. So do you help parents? Sometimes the co-sleeping thing can interfere with the marriage. And sometimes parents, are in different places. Mom wants to co-sleep and dad wants his own bed. So do you ever get in the middle of that potential marital bombshell?
Well,
help
I always
people?
sometimes they come to me and they're not on the same page, but I always tell them that if co-sleeping is working for you, then don't worry about it. If it's a problem for your family, then, I'll be a solution to help them fix it. But as long as their expectations are realistic for what a child that age should do, I can pretty much get them wherever they want to be. Every is a little bit different. And that's okay. So some families need more support individually. Other families can take the plan and they can kind of run with it. It just depends. But every family is just unique in their needs. And I'm really good at adapting myself to whoever I'm working with. And, it doesn't matter their culture, their age, how many children they have. I can kind of figure out their personalities and navigate the situation. I think it's one of my gifts. So I've worked with families from all over the world, and it's really, really fun. Actually, I enjoy it a lot.
It makes me think about you being able to do either parent seminars or webinars for parents as a way to connect with even more people in your community, or provide a value add service for your enrolled parents. Have you ever done like evening seminars or anything like that at your school?
I haven't. I've thought about it though. Sometimes I don't really tell the parents a lot that I do it.
Yeah.
They'll find me on the web, and then they'll ask, or somebody will tell them at the schools. So I have helped some of our parents, but I try to not have like a conflict of interest just in case,
Right.
times. So I try not to, but I do help.
Right. I understand that.
But yeah, I thought about doing a parenting type platform. Actually, we were talking about that last night. It's funny that you mentioned it because I'm taking an online dog training class for the puppy. And my friend was like, why don't you do something like this with sleep? Like a little background income.
Well, I have lots of connections with that. Like my friend Samantha from Australia created Parent TV, and Parent TV has a free plug for Samantha, has like thousands of parenting video tips. And so certainly as the subject matter expert on sleep, you could go in and you could do some content for her, and then it would drive probably business to you. Now, whether it's Australian business or United States business, but I'm pretty sure her viewership is global. But it might be a good way for you to get a trip to Australia paid for by your business.
That's cool.
That's what I'm always looking for.
Right?
Let's talk about your personal growth journey. So you have been one of my members that has been the most forward in being interested in personal development and constantly, as I mentioned at the beginning, sharpening your saw, getting better, reading podcasts. So just tell us a little bit more about that. Like what do you feel have been your biggest mindset shifts or transformations over the last few years?
I think it's been my biggest one. I think after COVID, it was almost like a full burnout. Like I just got to the point where I was so exhausted and I wasn't finding motivation. I just didn't know how to do this anymore. And I just couldn't get myself out of this funk. And, I went through a hard time with my daughter. And finally, I'm not one to sit in the misery. I love to figure it out and move on, which is how I am, but not just bury it, but actually solve the problem. So I came across this class in my Facebook feed one night, and I watched the master class, and I'm like, I need this. And so I signed up for this session, and it's with Julie Santiago, and it's Awaken Your Life. And it's been a 12-week amazing journey. I seriously get emotional thinking about the changes I've seen in my life. It's phenomenal. I mean, I totally recommend that to anyone that's, in a type of position like this, where you have to give so much of yourself every day. So many women, we all struggle with this because we're givers and we're doers, especially in early childhood. Imagine we have the biggest hearts, but we forget about our own sometimes. And so I've been investing a lot of time into myself this year, and, really changing the way I see the world, changing the way that I'm doing things in my life. I started delegating a lot of crap off my plate. I erased some stuff. I'm like, why am I doing this? I don't want to do this. It's not even important. And I just started, I have so much more free time, and I don't feel guilty about it. Finally, I used to feel I left school early. I'm like, I have to be an example and be there till 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. And now I'm like, no,
you don't.
So I have so much more free time in my life, and I feel like it's like I'm kind of walking myself home. It's like, to the person that I am, that I didn't even know who I was. It's like really like walking yourself home. So I highly to any woman. I know there's other people out there that are going through these same feelings. It's sometimes, and you can't see the forest through the trees, but it's been step by step. And every week I have my own groups that I go to. I have a personal coach. It's just been so healing. So I'm just so thankful for that. So she came into my life. It's just like the academy. I mean, that's been amazing too, as a business, on the business side.
Yeah.
And like my personal academy, like on a different.
Right.
But you kind of need both sometimes, you know?
Absolutely. I'm a huge proponent of it. I have both as well. And I have a fitness one as well. So I really have, 3 groups / coaches that I'm using: business, personal mindset, and fitness. And it's transformational for sure, and it just kind of keeps you on track and in a place of positivity and celebrating your wins. And I love the awareness. I love Awaken Your Life and walking back to yourself, to your journey, to your core, to your essence. And I love everything you're talking about. I'm just loving it. So, and I can really see it in you too. Definitely you're lit up. So the energy you're putting out is very bright and shiny and awesome. So way to go.
And I'm so excited about, I think, part of my passion is to become a transformational coach of some sort. So I'm kind of looking into like programs for certifications and kind of see where I want to go with that. But that's the part of this job even, that I love, is the empowering of women and the motivation, just helping them. I mean, for me, that I think is really part of my purpose in life. So I have to find ways to make it, like Julie says in the course, you're not going to walk into your purpose, but you can make meaning out of everything. So I've been spending a lot of time making meaningful experiences here, meaningful experiences at home. The little things that I really enjoy, just putting that into my life to fuel me. It's just amazing. I just can't even believe it when I think back 12 weeks ago and where I'm at now.
That's awesome.
So worth it. So glad I said yes to myself that day.
Yeah. Do you think that there's a parallel connection between the goodness and the essence of what's going on at your school in terms of your success, fully staffed, fully enrolled, great culture, great directors, and what you're doing personally? Because you said show up. And so do you think because you're showing up in a more positive way, it's impacting your business?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And they tell me too, I mean, the teachers tell me that I walk my talk. I don't get up there and talk. I walk the talk. I live it, and I show it. And they, yes, I think it makes a difference for the directors too, because they see me like setting personal goals and reaching them. And then they're more excited to do the same.
Yeah.
Them reaching their goals and making bigger goals and then reaching those goals. It's really exciting for me.
Yeah. It's super inspiring.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're leading a team and you're listening to this, which almost all the people that are listening or watching are leading teams, your team wants to be inspired by the person that's leading them. And so a lot of people in our industry kind of have that cop out mentality where like, well, I don't want to be an influencer. I don't want to be somebody who's inspirational, motivational. I just want to like sit back in my office and, do whatever. And I'm like, well, okay, you can, but if you start tiptoeing towards being a little bit more of an inspirational leader for your people, you will see it. You'll see it in your pocketbook. You'll see it in your time freedom. See it in your joy and happiness in your life. You'll start seeing it in so many different places. So I think it's worth looking at. I think it's worth pondering and really diving into it. And you're a perfect living, breathing example of that, Shana. I just love it.
Even when I did the class for them, we just did a big class on like self-care for educators. The feedback I got, they're hungry for all of that. They want it. They're hungry. They're asking for more. Can we do that again? Can we meet at night? Can we, so I'm trying to think about how I can serve them and continue offering things like that, because typically we just do, the curriculum and the stuff pertaining to education, but people are hungry for life. They're hungry for things outside of the classroom sometimes.
Yeah.
And that excites me the most, really.
Yeah.
When they're excited about life, then they're going to be great teachers.
That's right. If they're excited about what's going on outside the classroom, they're going to bring that energy right back into the classroom.
Yeah.
I love that. Tell us a fun fact. What is something about you that not a lot of people know?
Let's see. Well, I guess I could do a couple. I used to teach infant swimming resource ISR lessons for several years in my backyard pool. Another hands-on early childhood experience, but
wow.
Those babies that save themselves. I taught my own daughter too. My youngest, I taught her myself. They told me, you're not going to be able to teach your own daughter. Oh, I taught my own daughter. An excellent swimmer to this day.
Right.
I also used to work at Magic Kingdom. That was my first job on Main Street, USA. Those are a couple of fun facts, I think.
Nice. I love Main Street, USA.
Yeah. I was in high school then, imagine.
Wow. I love that. Yeah. My daughter asked me if she could become a Disney princess. So it was like earlier in her life, that was one of her career goals, but I'm not sure it is now. She's 17, so we'll see.
That's adorable.
And fun fact, Disney princesses are not allowed to be taller than like 5'8", maybe 5'7", because they want there to be a classic princess height difference between the prince and the princess. So, and she's 5'5", 5'4.5", so she'd be perfect height. But anyways, so we'll see. Tell us a little bit about, let's just talk about challenges. So you've had so many successes and turning around your mindset and all of these things. Has there been a specific challenge that you turned around in your journey that you would be willing to share that we haven't talked about?
I guess I would say, the hardest part of my journey, I think, was my divorce and how it affected my children and through that. And looking back, I was younger then. I'm glad I did it. Everything serves a purpose. So I never erased any chapters of my life, but, it all worked out okay. But I think that now looking back with the children in the struggles that we all had, it was definitely one of the harder parts of my journey. So I still have them in counseling when they need it. It's been many years now, but they even talk about it. They say that was hard, but I'd rather go through a divorce than go through this, that, and the other that their friends are going through. So, it did affect the children, but I think too, they need to have a strong parent, and I was able to keep going. The situation was hard. We moved down here. I started over. I went back to working outside of the home. A lot of things changed in my life, but I've been stable for them. And they see me strong, so they know that they can always count on me and then I'm going to push through. But I let them see me be vulnerable. So if I'm, going through something sad, I tell them, look, I'm sad, but I'll be okay. I always tell them I'm going to be okay, but I'm going to get through this. But I think a lot of parents, they're afraid to be vulnerable in front of their children. They're afraid to talk about feelings, and I try to make that part of our home. I want them with their feelings, with their situations, and I want them to see how I navigate life, and how I make decisions, and how I choose to get through the hard times. I always tell them, we can't have a life where you're not going to know love and joy without pain. It comes hand in hand, but it's how you navigate through the tide, the waves. That determines kind of what kind of life you're going to have, how you handle the waves that roll in, So I try to be a good example for them. And I try to put my oxygen mask on first before serving others. It's still I remind myself, but that's important too, especially when you're and you're carrying the load, the majority yourself.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great message. And I think, especially for women listening, especially for single moms, and I am one, it's everything. You got to keep yourself strong, healthy, and in a positive place if you're going to be a good parent and serve others and be a good business owner, for sure. So yes. I love that. Final question is, how do you define a childcare rock star?
Childcare rock star. I mean, to me, that's someone who has a cutting edge about things. They are always looking to grow and be better and do better and keep the business, growing with new ideas, new situations, looking for resources that are new. And then one of my directors said at the meeting with all of our staff, she's like, Shana loves change. So the only thing certain is that there's going to be more change. But it's true. I'm always changing things for the better. And if it's not in my wheelhouse, I'm going to find someone who has it in theirs. I'm not going to make myself do things that I don't like to do when I have people that can do it. Sometimes you have to spend money to make money. But that's basically it. Someone with an open mind, an open heart, that has a great attitude and is willing to, step in and step up and lead by example and to live the life that they want, others to be able to have. And you have to show it. And so for me, that's what it is: consistency, servant leadership, and love.
I love that. Well, Shana del Castillo of the Growing Room in Southwest Florida, thank you so much for being here with us today on Childcare Rockstar Radio. Any final thoughts as we close the episode?
No, I just want to tell you that I haven't told you that I'm so excited about Lisa Nichols being because she is one of my all-time favorites. That for me is, when I saw that, I was, oh my gosh.
Yep.
I'm so excited. And I wanted to tell you, thank you for bringing her.
Well, you're very welcome. And by the time this airs, there may or may not be any tickets left in the ballroom because we are close to selling out in Nashville, Childcare Success Summit 2022. So thank you for mentioning that, Shana. Lisa Nichols, I am so excited to meet her. And the bonus for all of you Academy folks is that you get to actually get a photo taken with her and give her a hug. If she's open to hugs, which I'm assuming she probably will be, knowing her. So
I'm sure.
That's really,
that's
really
so
great.
Exciting for me. Yeah. I have no idea.
Yeah. Yay. Thank you for telling me that. Yeah.
Yeah.
An amazing human. And I can't wait to have her. We actually were supposed to have her in Vegas last year, and then she had a baby. So she wanted to do virtual and we didn't want to do virtual. So we waited till we could have her live and yummy. So
I can't wait. She's such an excellent speaker. I just can't wait.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank you so much, Shana, for taking the time being here on the podcast. You're an inspiration, not only to your team, I'm sure to your daughters, to me, but to the world via this podcast. Thank you so much. And
thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of Childcare Rockstar Radio, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye. I hope you liked this episode of Childcare Rockstar Radio. If you did, please share it with someone you know and help spread the word to your friends in our industry and on social media. Childcare business success is my passion, and I'm honored to be on this journey with you. As a thank you for listening, learn more about how to grow your business and make more income with our brand new free quiz, the What's My Number One Income Killer quiz, exclusively for preschool and childcare owners. Take the quiz today at childcarequiz.com to discover what your number one income killer is and how to solve it. Take care and God bless.